Reason and Values in a World of Power and Ideals, a dialogue on egalitarianism, strength, and the challenges of our time. Introduction. This paper synthesizes a recent wide-ranging conversation exploring complex geopolitical and philosophical issues that define our current moment. The dialogue delved into the war in Ukraine, the implications of America First policies, the perplexing alteration of geographic names, the inherent tensions between democratic ideals and corporate capitalism, and the fundamental interplay of logic and values in shaping our understanding of the world. This paper aims to present a cohesive perspective drawn from that conversation, emphasizing a core set of beliefs rooted in egalitarianism and a nuanced understanding of strength in the face of global challenges. The Ukraine conflict and the question of appeasement. Our discussion began with an examination of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, prompted by a speech outlining a perceived shift in U.S. policy. This speech, delivered in the context of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group, advocated for ending the war through diplomacy, acknowledging the unrealistic nature of Ukraine regaining its pre-2014 borders, and proposing security guarantees outside of NATO membership. This position, presented under the banner of a pragmatic peace through strength, resonated with arguments for a negotiated settlement based on a realistic assessment of the battlefield. Proponents of this view might emphasize the dangers of escalation, the limitations of Western power, and the necessity of considering Russia's core interests to achieve a durable peace and end the ongoing bloodshed. However, this pragmatic stance was met with strong counter-arguments rooted in principle and historical lessons. The specter of appeasement loomed large, recalling the disastrous consequences of yielding to aggression in the face of bullies. The core of this counter-argument rests on the moral imperative to stand firm against aggression, to uphold international law in the principle of territorial integrity, and to fully support Ukraine's sovereign right to defend itself and reclaim its territory within internationally recognized borders. From this perspective, acknowledging unrealistic objectives and suggesting compromises on territory and NATO membership can be seen as a dangerous form of appeasement, potentially emboldening Russia and undermining long-term deterrence against future aggression. The focus should instead be on demonstrating unwavering resolve, providing Ukraine with the necessary means to achieve its legitimate goals, and clearly signaling that aggression will not be rewarded. Second, America First and the erosion of American ideals. The conversation extended to the broader implications of America First policies, questioning whether this approach truly serves American interests and values in the long run. While America First can be interpreted as a focus on domestic strength and prioritizing the well-being of American citizens, concerns were raised that in practice it can devolve into a form of isolationism or unilateralism that undermines international cooperation and emboldens aggressors. This concern was further amplified by the perplexing and troubling example of the apparent renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America on Google Maps. This seemingly arbitrary and nationalistic act was viewed as a symptom of a potentially deeper shift away from international norms and egalitarian principles and towards a narrow, America-centric worldview that prioritizes symbolic assertions of national power over historical accuracy, international relations, and shared global heritage. This symbolic act, while seemingly minor, raises alarm bells about a potential trend towards a more isolationist and less internationally cooperative stance. This trend, combined with a perceived weakening of American resolve in the face of aggression, fuels a sense of discouragement about the direction of the nation and its role in the world. The tension between democracy and capitalism, inequality and voicelessness. A central point of discomfort emerged in exploring the inherent tension between democratic ideals and the realities of corporate capitalism. While capitalist systems often tout individual liberty, the conversation highlighted the fundamentally undemocratic and hierarchical nature of corporate structures that dominate capitalist economies. The ideal of one person, one vote, central to democratic governance, stands in stark contrast to the corporate world, where power is concentrated in the hands of shareholders and management, and workers often experience a lack of democratic voice and control in their working lives. This inherent tension is further exacerbated by the role of money in politics. The current system, particularly in the United States, increasingly appears to be one where economic power translates directly into political influence. Campaign finance, lobbying, and media ownership by wealthy corporations raise serious concerns about the erosion of political equality and the increasing voicelessness of ordinary citizens. The principle of one person, one vote risked becoming a hollow ideal when economic disparities are so vast and political influence is so heavily skewed towards those with wealth and corporate power. Fourth, egalitarianism as a guiding vision. Underlying these critiques is a deeply held vision of an egalitarian world. This vision prioritizes equality of opportunity, reduced inequality of outcome, social justice, and respect for human dignity for all. It is a world built on cooperation, shared resources, and reduced hierarchy, aiming for peace and the flourishing of all humanity, not just a privileged few. This egalitarian ideal serves as a moral compass, guiding the assessment of current events and policies. Any trend or action that moves away from this egalitarian vision, whether it's appeasement of aggression, nationalist assertions of dominance, or the exacerbation of economic and political inequality, is viewed with profound disapproval and concern. Strength, pacifism, and standing against bullies. Within this egalitarian framework, a nuanced understanding of pacifism emerges. It is not a pacifism of passivity in the face of injustice, but rather a pacifism grounded in a deep commitment to peace, justice, and nonviolence, while also recognizing the necessity of strength in principle and self-defense against aggression. This perspective rejects appeasement as a viable path to peace, arguing that it emboldens bullies and ultimately leads to greater conflict and injustice. True strength, in this view, lies not only in military might, but in moral resolve, unwavering commitment to principles, and collective action to uphold a just and equitable world order. Standing up to bullies, even when challenging and risky, is seen as a necessary act of self-defense and a crucial step in building a more peaceful and egalitarian future. Sixth, logic, values, and the path forward. This dialogue underscores the essential interplay of logic and values in navigating complex global challenges. Logic serves as a vital tool for analysis, for identifying inconsistencies, and for understanding cause and effect. However, values provide the foundational premises and ethical compass that guide our reasoning and inform our judgments about what constitutes a just and desirable world. Arguments for both capitalism and socialism, for appeasement and confrontation, can be constructed logically, yet their ultimate desirability hinges on underlying value systems and assessments of real-world consequences. Moving forward, it remains crucial to maintain a commitment to reason, to critically examine assumptions, and to persistently advocate for policies and actions that align with egalitarian values. Even in the face of disheartening trends and seemingly insurmountable challenges, holding on to a vision of a more just and equitable world and actively working towards it with both reason and moral conviction is essential. Conclusion: this paper, synthesizing a rich and challenging conversation, ultimately arrives at a call for principled strength in the pursuit of an egalitarian world. It rejects appeasement in all its forms, advocating for a firm stance against aggression and injustice. It recognizes the deep tensions between democratic ideals and the realities of power and inequality in the modern world. And it underscores the vital role of reason, guided by a strong ethical compass rooted in egalitarian values, as the best path forward in navigating the complexities and challenges of our time. This vision, while demanding and perhaps idealistic, remains a powerful and necessary aspiration for building a more just, peaceful, and human future.